Welcome, and thank you for taking time to view this presentation around the Parents as Teachers approach and curriculum. We want to thank the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services for partnering with the Onset Prevention Fund and Parents as Teachers in being able to offer early Head Start and Head Start center-based programs, a research-based and evidence-informed curriculum to support the family engagement work happening at centers. I want to introduce myself. My name is Arielle Chaidez. I am a training manager here at the Onset Prevention Fund. I have been at the OUNS for 10 years and have supported both our home visiting and center-based family support work. I'm also a Parents as Teachers National Trainer and train on the 0 to 3 foundational training, the 3 to 5 foundational 2 training, as well as the Parents as Teachers model implementation training. In the room with me today and supporting this webinar is Joanna Nichols, our Senior Resource Specialist. So here are some hopes for today's presentation. We hope that this presentation will be able to provide an overview of the development of the Parents as Teachers approach and model. We'll be able to describe how the Parents as Teachers approach is evidence-based and the Parents as Teachers curriculum is research-informed. We'll want to share some information on the alignment between Parents as Teachers and Early Head Start, and provide an overview of the different content areas of the Parents as Teachers curriculums, and hopefully get a little bit of an opportunity to talk about demonstrating fidelity using the Parents as Teachers approach and curriculum, but really trying to make sure you guys have the tools you need to be able to make the best decision for you and your center. Here we have the mission and vision, Parents as Teachers National, but let me give some backstory. In 1981, Missouri pioneered the concept of helping parents embrace their important roles as their child's first and best teacher. Today, Parents as Teachers continues to equip early childhood organizations and professionals with information and tools that are relevant and widely applicable to today's parents, families, and children. The concept for Parents as Teachers was developed in the 1970s when Missouri educators noted that children were beginning kindergarten with varying levels of school readiness. Research showed that greater parent involvement is a critical link in the child's development and learning skills, including reading and writing. Early childhood professionals suggested that a program to provide early detection of child developmental delays and health issues and parent education to help parents understand their roles in encouraging their child's development from the beginning could help improve school readiness and parent involvement. With funding from the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, the Parents as Teachers model began in 1981 as a pilot for first-time parents. Grounded in the latest research, Parents as Teachers develops curricula that supports a parent's role in promoting school readiness and healthy development in children. The Parents as Teachers approach is very relationship-based. PAT embraces learning experiences that are relevant and customized to the individual needs of each family and child. Parents as Teachers does have core values, but really thinking about the concept of family engagement, which includes engaging both the parent and the child, is even more critical in a center-based environment because parents are working or going to school. Having parents engage their child to learn about and support their child's development and explore their own parenting behaviors not only ensure that parents and children build secure attachment, but it also builds on the gains that are made in your quality classroom environments. With that in mind, the core values of Parents as Teachers are that the early years of a child's life are critical for optimal development and provide the foundation for success in schools and life. Also, parents are their child's first and most influential teacher. Established and emerging research should be the foundation of family support, curricula, training, and services. All children deserve the same opportunities to succeed, regardless of demographics, geography, or economics, and an understanding and appreciation of the history and traditions of diverse cultures is essential in serving families. As you know, family support specialists, or folks in the field engage in this curriculum, it's important to keep these core values in mind in order to be successful in the delivery of the curriculum and the approach of parents as teachers. Parents as teachers also has 4 primary goals, and that is to increase parent knowledge of early childhood development and improve parenting practices, to provide early detection and developmental delays and health issues, to prevent child abuse and neglect, and to increase children's school readiness and success. These goals are similar to the goals of other program models in your community, so we will spend a little bit of time helping you get familiar with the elements of Parents as Teachers that are more unique. Parents as Teachers promotes the optimal early development, learning, and health of young children by supporting and engaging their parents and caregivers. Many folks have the question of what's the difference between curriculum being research-informed or evidence-based. The easiest answer that the Parents as Teachers curricula is research-informed by the most current information and research in the field. The PAT approach is evidence-based, and when we think about the PAT approach, that's more about how the content is delivered. And so that is evidence-based to be more engageable to families. And we'll talk about that more in detail. But the actual content of the curriculum is research-informed. The way the content or the curriculum is delivered, the PAT approach is evidence-based. Families enrolled in Parents as Teachers experience the following short-term, intermediate, and long-term outcomes. For short-term, there is an increase in healthy pregnancies and improved birth outcomes when services are delivered prenatally, an increase in parents' knowledge of their child's emergent development and age-appropriate child development, improved parenting capacity, parenting practices, and parent-child relationships, early detection of developmental delays and health issues, and improved family health and functioning. Different intermediate outcomes include improved child health and development, the prevention of child abuse and neglect, increased school readiness, and the increased parent involvement in children's care and education, and parents being more advocates for their children. This results in the ultimate long-term outcomes of strong communities, thriving families, and children who are healthy, safe, and ready to learn. There are now Parents as Teachers programs in all 50 states, and there's also Parents as Teachers footprints across the world. In addition to all 50 states in the U.S., Parents as Teachers is currently being delivered in 6 countries: Australia, Canada, Germany, Singapore, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. And the reason it works so well in so many different types of communities, countries, and cultures is because within Parents as Teachers, you do individualize your services and the content to the specific need of that family and really start with the family perspective on different areas and themes. Another question that we commonly get is what's the difference between a Parents as Teachers subscriber and a Parents as Teachers affiliate? For those PAT subscribers, these are folks who come to our foundational training, and after the training, they have access to the Parents as Teachers curriculum, which is rich with information. The PAT approach and curriculum is really a great fit as a subscriber for center-based family support specialists, as well as home visiting programs targeting families with children 0 to 5. Many programs choose PAT because of the content and information and the approach of working with families, and we'll talk about that shortly. The difference between just having access to the curriculum and being a PAT subscriber versus being a program that's a PAT affiliate is that a PAT affiliate is using an evidence-based home visiting model of Parents as Teachers, very similar to how Early Head Start is an evidence-based home visiting model, or Healthy Families America, or Baby Talk. Programs that are running the full PAT model have to not only follow their funder requirements, but also the PAT central requirements and 100 quality standards, as well as go through a quality endorsement process. Many programs within DFSS are already early Head Start and Head Start, so they're using that model and using the curriculum as subscribers to support different performance standards around evidence-based curriculum. But whether you're an affiliate or a subscriber, both are putting into practice quality approaches to family visits in a center-based and home-based environment. So we were talking earlier about kind of the approach to visits, to engaging families. And when parents and teachers refers to family visits, a term you might hear as well is personal visits, because these visits do not happen just in the context of the home. They can happen in the context of the center or anywhere else where there is space for the family support specialist or family engagement specialist to engage the parent and the child. While visits in the home are encouraged to build on the primary learning environment of the child, PAT recognizes that circumstances sometimes exist where visits in the home are not always possible. The three roles of the parent educator embraces the PAT approach of partnering, facilitating, and reflecting to build a relationship with the family. This is how we are with families. And not just that, hopefully this is how we are with colleagues as well as supervisors. We want to make sure that when family engagement specialists are meeting with a parent and the child, it's not a top-down approach, but really a partnering. The family engagement specialist will have knowledge, experience, and expertises. They know the curriculum. They have their background. They have the support of their team to be able to support that family. But the family, they're also experts in their child, in their community, in how their family engages each other, and together, bringing together both expertises and partnership is really the magic of bringing this curriculum to life. PAT refers to parent educators in their training, but really that's synonymous with anybody who's going to be working with and engaging families. We talked earlier that this approach of partnering, facilitating, and reflecting, the way we are with families, this is evidence-based, proven by research to show that this way of engaging family increases the parent's level of engagement. It promotes parenting that fosters children's development. It motivates a commitment to parental growth and behavior change, and improves parents' ability to discover their connection to their child's behavior and family's well-being. So if the parents and teachers approach is how we are with families, the foundational curriculum are the content areas that we cover. Parents and teachers evidence-informed and research-based curriculum was developed to equip parent educators or family support specialists with information to identify and build on family strengths, capabilities, and skills to foster family protective factors. It features family-friendly activities and resources that engage parents in their child's learning and development and informs their decision around everything from nutrition to discipline to health. All of these materials for parents are available in English and language as well as emerging other languages as well. Through parents and teachers' resources, handouts, and activities, the curriculum promotes and strengthens the following content areas. We focus on child development, parenting behaviors, parent-child interaction, development-centered parenting, and family well-being. The online publishing format allows content to be revised regularly so that the content keeps up with advances in research and new scientific insights and are updated with safety recommendations. It's really one of the benefits of having this curriculum online, that it's ever-changing, ever-evolving with the spirit of continuous quality improvement. The foundational curriculum supports expected outcomes by helping parents understand what's going to be coming up next in the progression of development in their child so they can provide support for all four developmental domains, which are language development, cognitive development, social emotional, and motor development, as well as their child's approaches to learning. Also, by providing up-to-date information that enhances the parent educator or family support specialist knowledge base, and guides their roles within families. So it's not just a tool, a curriculum for the families, it's also a professional development tool with many research-based articles or parent-educator resources that are very comprehensive and will help the family support specialists build their knowledge base. They include sensitive topics such as maternal depression, substance abuse use, mental health, domestic violence, developmental delays, and exposures to neurotoxins. By offering easy-to-read parent handouts designed to reinforce the parent's learning between personal visits on topics ranging from play to sleep to nutrition to family relationships. And the other thing is it also suggests 250 different parent-child activities or interactions that are introduced in context to the child's growth and development. This is a nice little graphic that kind of organizes how the main areas of the curriculum is put together. We have that section around parent-child interaction that includes a whole library of age-appropriate child development information. Also includes a section of information around the parenting behavior, how the parent is engaging and supporting the child in reaching their milestones, as well as all the different activities. The next circle talks about another main area, which is our development-centered parenting topics. So these are topics that will be followed up on over and over again, because these are topics that will change as a child grows and changes as well. Topics such as attachment, sleep, safety, health, nutrition, discipline, transitions to routines, and how parents support their child in these issues will come up in every visit. And then we have our family well-being section, which incorporates the parents, the family, their communities, as well as goal planning. And we have topics there around basic essentials, education and employment, physical health, mental health and wellness, child care, relationships with families and friends, and recreation and enrichment. And let me, if I have an opportunity, let me give you a little demonstration. I'm going to pull up the Parents as Teachers Foundational Curriculum. So you're looking at it here. What's nice is there's both electronic table of contents that are all kind of linkable, and so you can click. So if you're interested in, for example, a child development chart, you would be able to click on that, and it would take you to the child development chart. You can go back. You can see all the different areas that are handouts for parents, and you'll also see different titles that don't have a PH next to it, which means that's for the family support specialist or the parent educator. These are much more comprehensive. So let me give you an example of that. The Amazing Brain of a Baby. This is a resource for the family support specialist. If they're working with families and they're going to be introducing brain development handout or talking about brain development, they might not feel yet very well prepared to have a discussion about that. So this resource can help that family support specialist read up and prepare for talking about that topic before they go out to that visit or have that family come into their center. And so as you can see, it's much more comprehensive. The difference usually right underneath parent educator resource or family engagement or family support specialist resource, we have the actual parent handout. So this is summarizing different information in that article, but making it much more family friendly. So you can click on that, and this is a little bit more specific to the parent. It has some great reflective prompts that you can use, and so on. Let me go back. Also, as we mentioned, we have a lot of different areas, and this tower up here kind of shares that. So we talked about a whole area of child development information. So I'm going to click on that. It'll take me to different resources, including age-specific child development information. So just for example, I'm going to choose 14 to 24 months. And here we have different, again, articles for the family support specialist, as well as handouts for the parent if you're going to be talking about any one of these areas of child development. So your toddler knows 2 languages. I can click on that. You have a nice colorful image, as well as information that's family friendly. We have been told that the language are written at a 5th grade reading level, and the other nice thing is you can click on the title and convert this into Spanish. So all the parent handouts, all the activities, all the plans are all in English and Spanish, and you can just click on it and it'll take you back. And as I had mentioned earlier, Parents to Teachers is converting several of their handouts and information into other languages. And anytime you see a globe, that's kind of what it means. And so it'll take you to different other languages that are out there. So for example, you can click Chinese, and it'll show you all the different handouts or activities that we have in that language. So scribbling with crayons, and you can see that's there. So it's a really nice option for you. So as we mentioned, you have this whole child development section. You have all these activities. We have around 250 different activities. Also, by age range, as well as multi-age activities. You have your section for development-centered parenting, and again, we had mentioned that all these topics, you're going to cover them over and over again because the needs of the child will change as the child gets older. Think about nutrition. Feeding an infant is different than feeding a 1-year-old, which is different than feeding a 2-year-old. And so you'll have great information, resources, and handouts for all of that here as well. And then here we have that other third circle, which is family well-being and categories that will really support the parent, parents, family, or community. Excellent. So that's what I wanted to share about that. I'm going to go back to my presentation. So here these are the 3 main areas. The other great thing about Parents as Teachers is that it is aligned with Early Head Start, and it's aligned through a couple of different frameworks. One is the framework that is around the early learning outcomes, as well as the parent, family, and community engagement outcomes. So all of our content and material is organized in that fashion. There is a great resource that has been developed that we'll send out to you, that really talked about that PAT alignment. But let me see if I can pull it up for you. I'm going to go back online, and here I already have it pulled up. It's very nice. It's several pages long, 32, but it'll have this graphic that will have some specific connections to the PAT components, as well as to how it's aligned to different areas, including the outcomes. Here's the graphic that we shared of how Early Head Start there it is, sorry about that. But the other thing that we have is this alignment with the Head Start Early Learning Outcome Framework. And what this does is it takes every single one of those 5 central Head Start domains and those indicators and connects it with Parents as Teachers handouts or activities that can connect with that domain. So that's a really nice kind of just crosswalk connection. And so you can document that, whether it's in your plans or in your documentation. If you're using a PAT activity, you can see where it connects to the different early learning outcome domain. So excellent. So just wanted to share with you that. So there is alignment there. And so that's what we were talking about. There's alignment to the early learning outcome framework. And this is a sample of the first page, and it goes several pages long. The Parents to Teachers planning process brings the approach and the curriculum together, and it's the engine that makes it work. Planning with intentionality and individualizing family visits is critical in implementing the PAT approach. Parents to Teachers has 8 foundational visit plans, which are in English and Spanish and already developed, and on your screen you see one example of it. And it looks pretty wordy, but it kind of puts together all the areas for you, as well as different prompts or questions to facilitate with the parent and the child. Intentional planning really makes that meeting with that parent and the child meaningful. It gets the parent, educator, family support specialist ready for that visit. It allows them to read up on some of those resources and handouts. So there's intentionality when you get together with that parent. So the first 8 visits are already planned out. Now, even though it looks pretty rigid and structured, there is room for individualization and flexibility. So every foundational visit plan will have a main area you want to introduce to the family. So in this case, the second visit plan introduces child development. You see the 5 pieces of a visit. But for example, if this is telling you to focus on safety, but you know that the parent has a nutrition concern, you would be able to cross this out and swap it out and incorporate information, handouts around nutrition to meet that parent's need. So don't be fooled by the structure. The structure is there. A lot of folks want that structure, but it's also flexible as well. After the 8th visit and the 8th visit plan, you continue doing intentional visits using a blank personal visit planning guide. It looks like this. The organization is the same, but it's a blank. But please note, once you're in a visit, visits can go all over the place. And just because this looks linear does not mean you have to go in order. If a parent has a crisis or a need and really wants to talk about something going on at home, you don't have to stop and say, well, no, we have to get through parent-child interaction first. You can start there and then go back to complete your plan as well. But that intentional planning and engaging the parent and child is key when we think about this family engagement at work and parents as teachers. The great thing about parents as teachers, even though family visits is at the heart of parents as teachers, and a lot of the work is going to be done with the parent and the child in that kind of close, intimate setting, parents as teachers curriculum also supports group connections, screenings, and resource networking or community partnerships. Anything that you have in your curriculum can be used to support any one of these areas. And the other exciting part is with the Chicago Early Learning Standards, especially around the area of family and community engagement, there's a lot of connection within this curriculum that can be used to support and bring up all of those different areas, whether it's talking about father involvement, thinking about groups, or working with families who are homeless, or thinking about a plain language approach, and working with multilingual families. There is content in the curriculum that can support all of these different areas. So Parents to Teachers offers a couple of different trainings. The first one is the foundational training, which is a 3-day training and really focuses on the Parents to Teachers approach, as well as a curriculum for age 0 to 3. This training emphasizes reflective practice and hands-on learning, as well as emphasizing the Parents to Teachers approach to working with families. The training builds relationship-based competencies for providing visits and focuses on strengthening protective factors to improve parenting behaviors and maximizing child outcomes. But there is also a foundational 2 training. This training focuses on the age range of 3 to 5-year-olds. Foundational training is a prerequisite to attending the foundational 2 training. The reason being that the foundational training goes deep into kind of the overview, the structure, and the approach. The foundational 2 training is a 2-day training, and it really focuses more on the content-specific areas, the child development areas, the development-centered parenting areas, and family well-being areas specific to the 3 to kindergarten age range. So that's kind of the big difference. So foundational training, 3-day training for 0 to 3 for folks working with families who have kids 0 to 3. Foundational 2 training is for workers engaging families with kids aged 3 to 5-year-olds, with foundational being prerequisite. So just wanted to share some of that information. The other thing to note is that there is a renewal process for Parents as Teachers subscribers. So once you come to training, you have access to the PAT curriculum subscription for 1 year. After that year is over, there is a renewal process. And the fee for renewal for each worker is $215 for the foundational training. And if you also have the foundational 2 curriculum, that's only $40 more. I hope this presentation has been helpful in considering the best curriculum and approach to be successful in delivering your family engagement services. Thank you for viewing and listening. I do have a few websites that I would encourage you to kind of look into. One is our parentsAsTeachers.org. This is our Parents as Teachers national website. One thing you'll want to note from this website is if you go, let me go back. If you go all the way to the bottom, you have a section that really focuses on Head Start and early Head Start. Don't let the term home visiting fool you. It's really all about family engagement work. So that's one. I also wanted to share that we have a statewide Parents as Teachers website with information about training dates and whatnot. And then we have our ounce of prevention website with a lot of great information around early childhood education. And we also wanted to make sure you have our contact information. So as I said in the beginning, my name is Arielle Chaidez. I'm the training manager. That's my email and phone number. And then below that is Joanna Nichols, our senior resource specialist, with her email and phone number. Please reach out if you have any questions, if you have comments, if you would benefit from having a further discussion, if you want me to engage your staff. Reach out and we will make sure to try to accommodate your needs to make the best decision possible. The other folks on this list, Barbara Turhall is not only our training manager, but also our Parents as Teachers state office leader. And Victoria Martin is a name, if you become a Parents as Teachers subscriber, you'll become familiar with because she supports the registration into the Parents as Teachers National Training. With that being said, thanks again. Follow up with any questions you might have, and thank you for taking time for viewing this webinar.